Speech and worthlessness. So, for me, the primary point of worthlessness for me has been speaking and speech throughout my life. Throughout my life as a child, I had many experiences and moments that reinforce this idea that I do not speak well, I am not heard or understood by people, and that is something that is wrong with me, and that makes me worthless, less valuable. I feel bad about me, who I am. So that is my point. That is my primary point of worthlessness. For other people, there may have the point of their image, how they look, their face. As with many females, for me, I know that this is my point, and when it comes to my face, I really couldn't care less. But when it comes to my speech and me speaking, that has had a huge impact for me. So that for me has been a cornerstone point of myself as self-value, valuing myself, feeling like I have value. And if I simply focus on this point of working on my speech and being heard clearly, then I can give myself that value, because it is a point of correction to actually correct my speech so I am heard well and have pride in that. And there is a specific memory where I did give a presentation very well and had applause from my classmates. And in that moment, I felt good. I felt well with myself with what I did. I was quite effective and did very well. And I noticed I had that value that normally would have gone to someone else, would have been what I was looking for. I normally would have been looking to someone else in that moment for that value, to give me that value. And what is that thing we all do? We all look for another person to give us value, to take away that worthlessness. So obviously all the crushes, all the persons that hopefully will be interested in you, give you attention. What's interesting though is how me living this point of my speech and speaking actually give myself that value, and I complete myself, and I'm able to then effectively live without that worthlessness, which that worthlessness becomes a cornerstone for the program of looking to other people to give you value. So here's a very effective way and method for a person, any person who has had speech and speaking be a point of worthlessness for them, a point of lacking value. So here is my realizations and my application. My plan is to every day, with my morning routine, to work on my speech in some very specific ways. I am focusing on what I've already observed through practice as to be effective ways of speaking. I have 4 points where I can focus my attention on when I'm speaking, when I'm practicing speaking. The first one is the rhythm and flow of speech, the natural rate of how words are coming out, like a song. It could be slower, it could be faster, but if it's consistent, then it has a certain effect, a very pleasing effect of being heard and understood very well. And if there are natural pauses, then that has to be intentional as well. The other point is, second point, pronunciation and emphasis. Because whenever you're speaking any sentence, the emphasis you put on words and how you pronounce the words has an effect, such as hello and good evening, welcome. Or you could say hello and good evening, welcome. So that's another point to focus on. The other one is the level of pitch. Whether I, for example, try to speak more lower and try to speak in that lower voice on purpose, or try to speak a little higher, or try to speak a little higher. And it's to practice as well to be comfortable in speaking with a lower voice on purpose, like I'm doing right now. So all these three things so far, all these 3 points are something to pay attention to and practice and get used to have that ability to will myself to live a certain way. The fourth point to have is smiling or raising my cheeks while speaking, because you can imagine here, if all the weight of my cheeks are down, that closes my mouth more, while if my cheeks are above, it actually makes more space here for my lips to move. So it's literally just a point of the weight of my cheeks making it more difficult for me to speak and pronounce more clearly. And obviously that is in the shape of a smile. And that is why you often have singers, professional singers, smiling when they're speaking or singing. And as well as people are doing a speech, they also are smiling. So it's really a practical point, smiling, which is a physical, mechanical reason. That as well is something for me to practice and live for myself. And to practice then just saying some words every day, having a little script, a little monologue, a little sheet here to practice. If I do that every day, 20 minutes a day, then I give myself that fulfillment, that value, and I get better and better. And the best thing is to give myself situations where I can give a speech, to speak in public, and give myself that value. Because it is very valuable and rewarding for me personally. So, that is me correcting the point, which is a multi-dimensional point, which I hope will finally solve this issue of worthlessness and looking for other people to fill that. And what's cool is this cross-reference point, where I discovered this point through my DIP courses, and how I equally got a cross-reference that focusing on my speech is very important. And so here I have 2 independent verifications of this being a very important point, and will radically change my life. And that is what I look forward to, and that is what I really, really, really want. So, whoever you are, I'm sure we all have a point of worthlessness, and there is ways to change. And this destiny process the courses, everything from Destiny has supported me on this point in walking all the different layers and levels to get here so far. And it works. You just have to apply it. And just like any tool out there in the world, it works because of self. So Destiny is just direct to the point. Self-forgiveness, self-responsibility, self-honesty. It all focuses on you living yourself in this world. And how can you speak if you're not speaking from yourself? So that's the other point here to learn and realize, for me as well. So thank you very much. Have a good one. Goodbye.